This is N332.
You know, a great philosopher once said, "Stop right now. Thank you very much." When I say philosopher, I mean, it was the Spice Girls, in all honesty. But another great philosopher once wrote, "Naughty, naughty, very naughty." And that was a shaman, as it happens. But weirdly, the Spice Girls and the shaman are connected. Because all too frequently, when we reach stop signs, we are very naughty, naughty, very naughty, because we don't actually stop. And there is a reason why we should stop, why we must stop. And the reason might surprise you, because it's not just because you face a fine. Hello, my name's Mark Nolan, if you don't know me already, from N332. I've got a little bit of a game, sort of an exercise, a brain challenge for you in just a few moments. But this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about the stop sign. And here it is in all its glory. The only octagonal road sign in the catalogue. It's got 8 sides. And the reason it's the only octagonal one, the only sign with 8 sides, is because it's unmistakable. It is the most important sign that there is, so it has to be unmistakable. You can see it from a distance, you can see it in poor visibility, you can see it in low light. Because of the shape, you instantly know what it means. And of course it says the word stop. And is quite often accompanied by the very same word in big letters written on the road and a solid white line. It can't be any clearer. Stop. S-T-O-P. Stop. So why then do so many of us get to these points and just not stop? We continue, we roll forward. It's like it doesn't really mean us, does it? Well, here's the thing, because yes, of course it means us. It means every vehicle must stop. Cars, bicycles, electric scooters, buses, trucks, every vehicle must stop. Not for any specific time. You don't have to sort of count to 3 or count to 10 or anything like that. You don't have to put your handbrake on. You just must bring the vehicle to a complete stop. And also, if you're on a 2-wheel vehicle, scooter, bike, motorbike, you must put 1 foot down on the ground. That's for stability, so you don't fall over. It also proves that you have stopped. Now, let us get into the whys. I'm going to show you a picture in a second. And I'm going to show you that picture for about 3 or 4 seconds. And then once I've shown you the picture, I'm going to take the picture down and I'm going to ask you a question about that picture, okay? So you need to be looking at the screen and you need to be concentrating and be prepared for the question. So prepare yourself. The picture is coming up here. You need to be looking at the picture, and then I'll give you a few seconds and then I'll take the picture away and then I will ask you the question. You ready for this? So the question is quite simply, what object was the red ribbon wrapped around? That's the question. What object was the red ribbon wrapped around? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. What object was the red ribbon wrapped around? Are we ready? I will show you a picture and reveal the answer. You can write your answer down on a piece of paper if you want, I don't mind. Are you ready for the answer? So the question was, what was the red ribbon wrapped around? The answer, as you can see, is a plastic bottle, a plastic water bottle. Did you get it right? Did you? Plastic water bottle. That was the answer to the question. Simple, wasn't it? No. Hang on a minute. If you read a question on the screen, that's on you, not me. I said I was going to ask you a question. I didn't say that was the question. I said I was going to ask, and that's what I did. So it's on you, not me. But, you see, the thing is, there is a point to this whole thing. Now, let's assume then you looked at the question on the screen, which was, how many green ribbons are there? That wasn't the question I was going to ask. It was on the screen, but it wasn't the question I was going to ask. What was your answer? 6? 7? We can play along with this as well. It's not a problem. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Now I feel like I'm on TikTok with young people doing the 6, 7 thing. 6, 7. Let's have another look. 6 or 7. You can see the picture. You can count yourself. Were you right with 6? Were you right with 7? Were you right about the red ribbon? Were you right? Because I don't quite know if I should admit this or not, but I'm going to. Because the picture I just showed you when I gave you the answer is not the same picture I showed you at the beginning. Here, we can compare the two different images. The image I showed you in the first place, and then the image I showed you with the answer. You can see there are differences between the two. I'm sorry. But that is the point. And that is also why we're coming back to this. Because as humans, we have something which is called inattentional blindness. That's the technical term for it, inattentional blindness. What it actually means is the human brain will only see what the human brain wants to see and what it thinks it will see. And it will blank out everything else. The human brain is an amazing tool, an amazing processor, but it has limits. There's something which we refer to as the cognitive load. There's only so many things the active human brain can do at any one time. So what it does is it remembers routines, it remembers things so that it doesn't have to think about them. If you think back to when you were learning to drive and you got to a road like this, when you got to the end, it's quite possible that you would have to do what we would call a hill start. So the vehicle would roll backwards if it wasn't controlled correctly. And that was one of the first complicated procedures you had to learn, clutch control, how to balance the clutch and the accelerator so that the vehicle didn't roll, the vehicle didn't slip. And if you remember way back when, it wasn't an easy task to do. Eventually, you did it. You worked it out. You don't have to think about it now. And that's the point. Now, when was the last time you thought about clutch control? When was the last time you thought about balancing your clutch? Because we don't do it. Our brain does it for us, automatically. It's on autopilot. And let's be honest, it's brilliant that it does, because we don't want to be thinking about clutch control. That's something that'll take us off doing what we need to be doing, driving safely. But the problem is, with that mechanism that our brain has to learn things, when we come across junctions like this, and then we come on a regular basis and a more regular basis, the brain thinks, well, didn't stop last time, nothing bad happened, no need to stop this time. We're getting used to this now, just go over it. Listen, you're fine, just carry on. Oh, everything's good, don't worry, just keep going, don't stop. But that is where the problem is, because it says stop on the road. It says stop on the sign. We have to stop. Because if we don't stop, if we don't actually stop, it doesn't allow our brain time to catch up. And we suffer from inattentional blindness. In other words, our brain doesn't have time to see what is actually happening at that junction, and therefore allow you to safely make a decision whether to proceed or not. The green ribbons from earlier, the red ribbon from earlier. What if they were cyclists, pedestrians, children, other vehicles? We've proven that the brain only sees what it wants to see. But we can stop it by stopping. It's as simple as that. Stop. Allow the brain time to see what is actually at the junction before you proceed. This, by the way, is why junctions like this in our towns and cities are the number one location for collisions and the number one location for fatalities. Not roundabouts that you might think. Junctions like this. When you see a stop sign, stop. Not because you'll get fined, not because, well, there's nothing coming so you can carry on, not for any reason you think. Stop because it's biology. No amount of skill, no amount of practice can change what your brain is doing. Give it time to catch up, give it time to see what is actually happening at these junctions. Stop means stop. I am Mark Nolan. If you want to know more about driving in Spain, make sure you visit the website n332.es. Just search N332, you'll find us. If you want to know more about the psychology of driving, then there's another website, projectunderstanding.eu. And there we break down everything that the brain and the body does when it comes to getting behind the wheel. That car didn't stop, did it? Inattentional blindness. It's deadly.